Quadratic formula. Why would we use quadratic formula? Unless they actually tell us to use it. Why would we use it? Does anybody recall? Well, if it is not factorable, then you would use quadratic formula because quadratic formula will be able to solve any quadratic equation. Okay? Any quadratic equation. So let's take a look at this problem. It says solve using the quadratic formula. So here they're telling us to use it. And we have the formula itself. X equals, because we're solving for our roots, okay? And we have 3x squared plus 2x minus 5 equals 0. Is that in good standard form? Yeah? No? No? Yes? Yeah. It is a quadratic. It's to the second power. And it's set equal to 0. Okay? And those are the two major things that we need. All right. So first of all, I'm going to search and make sure I know and understand my A, B, and C. So A is equal to 3. B is equal to 2. And C is equal to negative 5. Okay? I would strongly suggest and say that's probably one of the first things you should do. All right. So, Brown, you with me? Okay, where's your pink sheet? All right, well, make sure, go get your stuff and make sure you bring it out. All right, here we go. So then X equals opposite of B. Well, if B is 2, then the opposite is going to be negative 2 plus or minus the square root of B squared minus 4AC. Ooh, I forgot. I usually like to do this separate. So I'm going to call this the discriminant in here because I'm going to do it separate. Okay. All divided by 2 times A, which is 3. So I'm going to do the discriminant off to the side. Okay. The discriminant, if you recall, is just this part underneath the radical sign. So it's B squared minus 4 times A times C. B is 2, so I'm going to make this 2 squared minus 4 times my A value of 3 times my C value of negative 5. Is everybody with me so far? All right, 2 squared is how much? 4 minus, then I'm going to take 4 times 3 is 12, and 12 times negative 5 is negative 60. We cannot have that double negative, so I'm going to say add the opposite, and my discriminant is 64. Okay? That is my discriminant. The discriminant should be a number. And because it is a positive value, do you remember how many real roots should I expect to have?
Interruption. Weighted testing continues. Students testing this morning should head to their testing room. Thank you.
Okay, so I should have 2 real roots. So I'm going to say X is equal to opposite of 2 plus or minus the square root of 64. That is my discriminant. Okay? All divided by 2 times 3 is 6. Talk to me about 64. What do you know about 64? It's a perfect square. So what is the square root of 64? 8. So then it becomes negative 2 plus or minus 8 all divided by 6. So this is where it goes into the 2 roots, okay? So X is equal to negative 2 plus 8 divided by 6. And X is equal to negative 2 minus 8 divided by 6. Get back there. All right, so x is equal to negative 2 plus 8 is 6. 6 divided by 6 is x is equal to 1. And on the other side, x is equal to negative 2 minus 8, which is negative 10 over 6. That can be simplified. Divide by 2 over 2. And that gives me, what? Negative 5/3. So my two values are x is equal to 1 and x is equal to negative 5/3. What questions do you have? And if you didn't go this route, where did you go astray, or where did you get stuck? Help me help you. What's the hardest part here? Is it the discriminant itself? No? Okay. Seriously, any questions? Any questions? Okay. All right, so let's put this to the side then. We'll have 2 more to work on, one tomorrow and one on Thursday. Let's take out your notes. How did that go? There was not a video. The video was not done uploading. Still, really makes me mad. Notes. But you could copy them, I believe. So we are now ready for, if you copy them, oh great, are they at the very bottom of my page? They are. All right, the last two problems. So 2x squared plus 6x equals negative 18. Of course, it is not at the top of my page. So let me repeat that. 2x squared, what is it again? I forgot already. Equals negative 18. And let me go back and see if I can remember the last one. 3x squared plus x minus 5 equals 0. 3x squared plus something minus 5 equals 0. What's the plus? 1x? Okay. And let's go back and look at what are the directions for this section. Probably nothing. I think it's all quadratic formula. Okay. So this is the top of the last page of the packet. All right. So 2x squared plus 6x equals negative 18. What do I need to ask myself first? Yeah, is this in standard form? No, because if you try to find A, B, and C right here, you are going to end up with a mess. So I need to put it in standard form first. How would I do that? Add 18. Very good. So let's add 18. Add 18. What you need? The whole packet. Well, here's the last two. Do you need the whole packet too? Oh, no. Okay. There you go. So add 18, add 18. 18s cancel out. I'm going to rewrite mine above. So I have 2x squared plus 6x plus 18 equals 0. Now I'm happy. I've got 0 at the end. That's where I put my happy face. And we can go forth. So my A value, what is my A value? 2. My B value is 6. And my C value is 18. Any questions about how I found that? All right. So we need to use the quadratic formula, which we will give you. And that starts out, x is equal to the opposite of b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all divided by 2a. All right, so I'm going to say x is equal to the opposite of b. Well, if b is 6, the opposite is going to be a negative 6 plus or minus the square root, and I'm going to write discriminant here. I just think it is so much easier to find that on its own. All divided by 2 times a, which is 2. You okay? All right. So let's find the discriminant. B squared. So b is 6. So I'm going to take 6 and square it, and then subtract 4 times a, which is 2, times c, which is 18. Ew. That's going to be pretty big. 6 squared is 12, right? No, I was trying to throw you off. 6 squared, 36. 6 times 6, yes, 36 minus 4 times 2 is 8, and 8 times 18 is 144. 36 minus 144 means it's going to be a negative value. And it's going to be negative 108. That is my discriminant. Now, do you remember when we have a negative value as the discriminant, how many real roots do we have? 0. So we cannot do this problem as it is, and we are just going to say no real roots because we have a negative discriminant. So what would the graph of this look like? Is it going to go up or down? Can you tell? Why down? What's negative? Huh? Your discriminant is negative, but look at your A value. Doesn't the A value determine whether it's going up or down? Yeah, so it's a positive 2. It's going to be opening up. Is it going to cross the x-axis at all? No. So it is a parabola going upward that does not cross the x-axis. You're like, huh, okay. So that's why it's a good idea to kind of find the discriminant before you get too far along in your problem, right? Okay, any questions about that last problem? So if you end up with a negative number in your discriminant, you just say no real roots, 0 real roots, null set, okay? Any of those will work. All right, let's go to our last example. 3x squared plus x minus 5 equals 0. First of all, is it a quadratic? Does it have a variable to the second power? Yes. Is it set equal to 0? Yes. So we can solve and find a, b, and c. So a is equal to 3. B is equal to 1. That's 1 understood. And c is equal to -5. And then we get to the quadratic formula. X is equal to the opposite of b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. All right, x equals opposite of b. If b is 1, the opposite is going to be negative 1 plus or minus, I'm going to say discriminant. Okay, all divided by 2 times a, which is 3. All right, so let's go looking for the discriminant. Are we going to give you the formula for the discriminant by itself? Are we? No, we are not. We are not. We are going to give you the whole quadratic formula, and you have to recognize that this b squared minus 4ac is the discriminant. Okay, do you remember me talking about that a little bit? Okay, so we will not give you that separately. You have to know that is the discriminant. Joelle, did you hear what I said? Joelle, you have to know that this is the discriminant, okay? All right, so b squared is 1 squared minus 4 times a, which is 3, times c, which is negative 5. So 1 squared is 1 minus, and then you do the multiplication, just like order of operations. 4 times 3 is 12. 12 times negative 5 is negative 60. So this is minus a negative 60. We cannot have a double negative. So add the opposite, and we have 61. So our discriminant is 61. Since that is a positive value, how many real roots should I expect to have? 2. All right, so let's go forth. X equals, I still keep opposite of 1 plus or minus the square root of 61 all divided by 2 times 3, which is 6. Now, is 61 a perfect square? No. So we are going to have to use our calculators. Everybody grab your calculator. So the first one is going to be negative 1 plus, then you use that second button and x squared for square root of 61, and then you press enter because you want to get that numerator, and then you hit divided by 6, hit enter again, and then the 2 arrows, and it should be hopefully a decimal. And I don't have my cheat sheet up here. So what are some of you getting? Well, negative 1 point what? 309? 301. Anybody else get that? No? No. What's anybody else getting? 1.14 what? Or was it 13 something? 13. 1.135. Everybody else get 1.135? A couple of other people? Okay. So if I say round to the 100th place, that's 2 decimals. Look next door, 5 or more. What's going to happen to that 3? It's going to go up, right? 1.14. X equals. That's the first root. The second one is going to be opposite of 1 minus the square root of 61, all divided by 6. Let me grab a calculator too. So here is how it goes down. We say opposite of 1 minus second x squared gives you the square root. 61, you hit enter, divided by 6, enter arrow. What'd you guys get? Negative 1.468. No? Negative 1.468. Anyone? Bueller? Yes. Toby? Yes. Confirmation from 1. So, Ron, are you going to know how to do this? Huh? All right, so if I say round to the hundredths place, again, look next door, 5 or more. Yes, that is more than 5, so that 6 goes up to be 7. So we have x equals negative 1.47. So these are your 2 roots. Questions on those? So again, find the discriminant early, and if you have a negative value, then you can't have real roots. So you just say no real roots, all right? And if it does have a discriminant and it's positive, then you'll have 2 real roots. They could be funky square root stuff, but you know how to calculate that now, okay? All right, so that is the end of the notes. So the homework is the homework that you have already. Homework 12.6. You need to finish that for tomorrow. And also there was an e-learning assignment on Thursday, from Thursday. Make sure you have that done too, okay? The e-learning assignment was on Canvas. Hey, we are not packing up. Do you have 12.6 done? You have to go get it? Where is it? You don't have it? Okay, should be at the back. Yes, on Friday. So we'll review tomorrow. I've got review worksheet. If anybody wants the review worksheet, like right now, I've got that. But you need to finish working on 12.6. That will be due tomorrow. Again, we'll do some bell work. I'll give you the review to work on tomorrow, and it'll just be in-class work session, okay? Now, today, if you feel like, man, I am really missing out on some stuff, let me know. I can come around and help you, okay? We've got like 15 minutes. Okay?